All right, sixth graders, we're going to go over our homework for 3-1. So let's begin here. It says write the exponent for each expression. We know that if 9 times itself 4 times, and that's what this is, 9 times 9 times 9 times 9, that means we're going to have 9 to the 4th power, and that means our exponent would be 4. Number 19, we have 1/6 times 1/6 times 1/6. That means we're multiplying 1/6 to itself 3 times, right? Which means our exponent is going to be 3, right? Because this would be 1/6 in parentheses to the 3rd power, right? And that's where we get our exponent 3 from, right? This would be 9 to the 4th power, and so that 4th power would be that exponent 4. All right, let's go to number 21. Evaluate each power or expression. When we do this, we see that we have 8 to the 3rd power. So 8 to the 3rd power is going to be 8 times 8 times 8. I know 8 times 8 is 64. So I'll take 64 multiplied by 8 to go ahead and find out what 8 to the 3rd power is. 4 times 8 is 32. And then 6 times 8 is 48 plus 3, 51. So our answer would be 512. All right, number 23 says 0.6 to the 2nd power. That's 0.6 times 0.6. And we know that 6 times 6 is 36. Since we have 2 places for our decimals here to move over, that means I got to move it over 2 places, and this is going to be 0.36. So this equals 0.36. 58 to the 0 power. Anytime we have a number to the 0 power, the answer is 1. You might be asking how. Well, think about it. 58 to the 2nd power would be 58 times 58, right? And that means 58 to the 1st power. Well, that would equal just 58. So when we have 58 to the 0 power, we're actually taking 58 divided by 58. You see how it starts going backwards? We're multiplying, now we're dividing. So that's going to equal 1. All right. Number 27, a company rents 2 storage units. Both units are cube shaped. What is the difference in volume? Well, remember, volume is the height times the length times the width. So if it's a cube, remember, if this is 8 feet, then this is 8 feet. And that means this is also 8 feet from here to here, right? And so we have 8 times 8 times 8 because volume is the length times the width times the height. Volume equals the length times the width times the height. And so this is 8 times itself 3 times, and that's going to be 8 to the 3rd power. Now it said the other storage unit, right? Both units are cube shaped. What is the difference? Which means I'm taking this one and subtracting this one. And we've seen that this is 6.5 over here, which means this bottom is 6.5, which means this side here is also 6.5, which means we have 6.5 cubed. So we're going to subtract 6.5 cubed. You might be tempted to take 8 and minus 6.5 from it. That would be the wrong move. Don't do that. You have to break these down and find out what the answer is after you've taken them and you've cubed them. 8 to the 3rd power, I think we did something like that over here. Oh, good. 512. We already know what that is. So 512. And now we're minusing 6.5 to the 3rd power. Let me get my calculator out for this one. 6.5 times 6.5 times 6.5. That's going to give me 274,625. 274,625, okay? 274,625. Just to make sure I didn't make any mistakes, I'm going to take 6.5, and this is the other way I could have did it. I could have went over here to this function where it says x to the y power, and now 6.5 is my x. I'm going to put in my y, which is 3, because it's the third power, and look at that, 274.625. So I know I got the right answer there. Now I have to subtract these numbers. So I've got to take 512 and minus 274.625. Remember, you have to line up those decimals. When I do this, I know this is going to be a 10, so this will be a 5. This is going to end up being a 7. Remember, we're going to have to borrow from here, which means we're borrowing all the way from here, right? 4, and then this would have been 11, but now it's going to be 10. This would have been 12, but now it's going to be 11. This would be 10, but now it's going to be 9. This would have been a 10, but it's also a 9 now, because I need to borrow one from here. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 minus 6 is 3. 11 minus 4, I believe that's going to be 7, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, 7. 10 minus 7 would be 3. And 4 minus 2, that's 2. So my answer has to be, let's see, note that the cube, okay, so it says note that the volume of the cube is where S is the side length, explain, okay? So they're asking what is the difference in volume? The volume is going to be 237.375. So my final answer is going to be 237.375, and we'll be using cubic feet because they're talking, these are in feet, right? Yep, cubic feet. All right. Let's go ahead and do number 29 now. Marine biologist studies the population of sea in research area. Seals in a research area. How many seals are in the research area? I must be missing a picture or something, so I'm going to hunt it down so this makes more sense, and we have some numbers to deal with. All right, I found the missing picture there, and I put it in. It says seal population is 3.27 times 10 to the second power. Now, this makes a lot more sense to me. A marine biologist studies the population of seals in a research area. How many seals are in the research area? Well, when I multiply something to the power of 10 times 2, I realize that I'm taking 10 and multiplying it to itself twice. So 10 times 10 is 100. So that means this is really 3. Let me rewrite that. Sorry. Put it over here. 3.27 times, 10 times 2 is 10 times 10. Or 10 to the second power is 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So this is really 3.27 times, I'm going to use my dot instead of these little baby symbols that they've been teaching us in the past. This is a multiplication now. So this is 100. And that means I'm going to take my decimal and move it over twice. So this is going to become 327 seals. Okay. If you're wondering if that makes any sense when I multiply it, let's try it here. If I have 3.27 and I multiply it by 100, looks like I put a little I on that one, doesn't it? Remember, all these are going to be zeros across here. The second row is also going to be a bunch of zeros. And now the third row requires me to put 2 zeros here. One, and then since it's multiplying everything to 1, this would be a 7, a 2, and a 3. As you can see, I'm going to have 3, 2, 7, 0, 0, but I have my decimal here, which goes over twice, which means I'll have to bring my decimal over here twice, and as you can see now, I have 327. That's exactly what we said we'd get. All right, let's go to number 31. I think this is my, no, not my last one. Number 31 says, Malik read that the land area of Alaska is about 5.7 times 10 to the 5th power square miles. About how many square miles is the land area? Well, once again, we know that this is really just going to be taking 10 to the 5th power and multiplying. That means 10 times itself 5 times. So we're going to have 5 zeros here. This is really 5.7 times 10 with, well, we got 5 zeros. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? That's basically 100,000. So when we multiply this, we're moving that decimal over that many zeros. So we're going to be taking 5.7 and we're multiplying it, or moving that decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means I'll have 4 places to put zeros at. And so my answer is going to be, let's see, 570,000. So 570,000 and it says miles, so it'd be square miles. So let's see, miles squared. All right, and now we're going to do number 33. This is, wow, this is a long homework page. Okay, so let's go on to number 33, and then I guess I have number, wow, it just goes on and on. It's the homework that never ends. All right, number 33, solve the equation 0.3 to the 3rd power times n. This is really 0.3 times 0.3 times 0.3, right? And so I know 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So I know that the number is going to be 27. Remember, we have 1, 2, 3 spaces for our decimal, so we got to go back 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 0.027. Okay? So yeah, that number actually ends up getting smaller because of the decimal, doesn't it? Next, we've got number 35. Christian was asked to write each of the numbers in the expression 80,000 times 25 using exponents. Her response was 8 times 10 to the 3rd times 5 to the 2nd. Was Christian's response correct? And then explain. Now, number 35, let's see, number 35, Christian was asked to write each of the numbers. Oh yes, we can see that there's going to be 2 different expressions here. One of them is going to be to the 10th power because we have zeros over here after our 8. So this should be 8 times, well, let's see how many zeros we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be 10 to the 4th power. That tells me right there Christian did something wrong because she has 10 to the 3rd power. So her response is incorrect. I'm going to say no, it is not correct. And you know what? I'm going to type this because it's easier for me to type this part. Okay. should have she should have turned it to 8 times 10 to the 4th power. Okay. You know what? Just so there's no confusion about the way it should be written, I'm going to put. I'll write this one out. 10 to the 4th power. I guess I have to go back here to the 4th power. There we go. And the 4th should have been over here. And let's check the other one. 25, that is 5 times 5. So 5 to the 2nd power with 5 there. So no, she should have turned it to 8 times 10 to the 4th power instead of to the 3rd power. Let's go down to number 37. Finally, my last one. Isabella saved 2 nickels today. If she doubles the number of nickels she saves each day, if she doubles them, okay, how many days, including today, will it take her to save more than 500 nickels? This might be a little bit lengthy here because it seems to me we're going to have to count all the days that she's collecting these nickels. So let's start. Remember, it said Isabella saved 2 nickels today. If she doubles the nickels, the number of nickels she saves each day, how many days? So on day 1, she just had 2 nickels, which is, well, that's 10 cents. Right? Because she had 2 nickels. That means on day 2, she had, let's see, she doubles that. So that means she's going to have 20 cents, right? But we're not talking about cents. I just realized we're talking about nickels. So let's switch this up a bit. On day 1, she's got 2 nickels. On day 2, she's going to have 4 nickels. We need to reach 500 nickels. Wow. So on day 3, if we double 4, that's going to give us 8 nickels. So on day 4, if I doubled 8, that's going to be 64 nickels. On day 5, if I double 64, that's going to be 128 nickels. On day 6, wow, if I double 128, let's see, now we're going to start doing some multiplication. 128 times 2. Well, 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1, that's 4 times 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and then 2 times 1 is 2. That's going to be 256. And then on day 7, well, 256 plus 250, we're doubling it, right? So 256 plus 256. I could multiply it by 2, but I just decided to do it this way. 6 plus 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 1 makes 11. Carry the 1, that's 512 nickels. Okay, well, thank goodness we've gotten over 500. So let's see. This is day 1, 2, 3. Let's see. If she doubles the number of nickels she saves each day. So according to what I see, on day 7, she should have reached 500 nickels. So I'm going to double check my work here. We got 2, double 2 is 4, double 4 is 8, double 8. Whoa! We made a little error here, didn't we? I'm hoping you didn't make the same error I did, because we doubled, we didn't multiply everything to itself. So I have to change that up. Double 8 would be 16. And then doubling 16 would be 32. And then doubling 32 would be 64. Now doubling 64 would be 128. So we're on day 8 already now. Wow, that changed things up a lot. So doubling 128 will give us the 256. So that means it's actually going to be day 9 that will have 512. All right. So that'd be, let's see, how many days? That'd be 9 days. Okay, 9 days to get 500 nickels. We're going to double check our work again here, just to make sure I didn't make any other mistakes. I know it's getting pretty late here, so I'm going to have to stop making some videos tonight if I'm making mistakes like this. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 30 times 2 is 64. 64 times 2 is 128. 128 times 2 is 256, and 256 times 2 is 512. I'm just curious if I could have found it one other way. If I would have just said, I have the power of 2, right, and I'm trying to get to 512. Let's see. Is there a way I could have done this on my calculator? Well, I can double check, I guess. I can put 2 to the 9th power, and that gave me 512. So I could have just also kept doing it by the power, right, and increasing my power by 1. But that's the same thing as multiplying it, right? So 9 days it would take to get 500 nickels is my answer. That was my last one, thank goodness. And it's time for me to get some rest. So good luck with the rest of them, guys, and I'll see you at school tomorrow. Bye. Bye.